Hunt. Connor. I stared out into the endless, moonlit night. Abby was getting dressed while I was in the other room, just thinking about the mind flayers. I kept thinking about what they did to me with that mind blast when we first encountered them. I couldn't get that city out of my head. I couldn't get anything out of my head. Those creatures are truly horrifying, and they deserve to die. Abby walked in with a plate of food and said, "Why do you look so down?" It's not simple. It's not? Yeah. I mean, look at this. These people look up to us. And we're failing them. No, we're not. We're not failing them at all. Just because we can't find our creature right now doesn't mean that we're failing. Then tell me, what does it mean, Abby? Why is it like this? Connor, that's just the way the world is. Abby, these creatures are horrifying abominations, and they don't deserve mercy. I agree. But you have to remember one very important detail, Connor. Don't enjoy the hunt. Why? It's very difficult to say why. But if you enjoy the hunt, then that's a problem. It means you're getting bloodthirsty. You could end up in a blood haze. Blood haze? What's a blood haze? Blood hazes are, well, they're difficult to describe. Think of it as a coma of sorts. You are so dedicated to the idea of blood that you honestly don't remember who you are. Hunters go in blood hazes all the time. It's not new. Blasted. So you're saying to me that a blood haze is possible to get in? Of course it is. It's always a possibility. Every hunter deals with it all the time. So I take it that, well, what we're doing is going to put me in a blood haze? Oh, heavens no. That's only if you go extended periods of time without taking a break. If you're constantly hunting, that's kind of one of the main reasons why we don't allow hunters to go on constant hunts. That's why we give them a small break, so they can relax, so the blood doesn't get to their head and the blood haze can't happen. However, you go extreme periods of time without taking a break, then you'll enter your blood haze. We take every precaution to prevent the blood haze. Has anyone been killed with a blood haze? It is possible. Yes, death is a very clear alternative, but so is any other hunt. Blood hazes are not so much for the internal, but more the external. What do you mean? Let me explain this in a way that makes sense. It is possible, and I have seen it a few times, where a hunter enters a blood haze, and then all they see are the monsters that they're hunting, regardless if there's actually a monster in front of them. Usually it's their fellow man. So you're saying that hunters have killed each other in a blood haze? Yes. That's one reason why it's so dangerous to enter one. You'd either have to be put down, or you would have to be brought back. Did you have to put 2 of them down? Or at least the 2 you saw? I did, actually. I had to put one of them down. It wasn't pretty. It goes against one of our rules. What's the rule? Don't hunt your own. Now, the rule is a very broad spectrum. It means don't hunt what you're not supposed to, aka humans, elves, dwarves. Why aren't there any elves or dwarves in the Hunter's Order? That I don't know. I really don't. I wish I did. I've been protesting with Zach, and before him, Max, multiple times, that we should bring more creatures like that into our ranks. But alas, they both said no. Any particular reason why? They said that it would cause tension amongst the races. But honestly, I think it's just a little bit of human pride saying that we can do it on our own. And of course it is. Question, Abby. Yes? Does Zach actually care about me, or is he more concerned on if I'm a liability? That I can't answer. It's very difficult for me to answer. In my opinion, you're a hero. You successfully killed Dalen. No, I had help. Yes, so what? You had help. Oh my goodness gracious. It's not the end of the world if you had help, but let's be real with each other for a moment. You're the one who did the killing blow. You're the one who fought against Dalen the most, and you're the one who came up with a plan, aka, at the end of the day, you're the one who killed Dalen. Now, is that so hard? Could you please take some pride in the fact that you killed Dalen? Before another word could be spoken, we both heard a scream from outside. We looked out and saw a woman. She was being attacked by a mind flare. We grabbed our stuff and ran down the stairs as fast as we could, running through the crowd of worried compatriots. And they were very, very scared. We burst down the door and saw the woman dead on the ground. She looked no older than maybe 27. Then I looked up. For some reason, I had this distinct feeling to look up. And there was that strange woman again, dressed in all white. No discernible features that would tell me who she was or what she was doing. All I knew is that she was there. I looked and used my eyes to indicate where the woman was to Abby. Abby said, "Do you think she has any idea?" I shrugged. "Don't know. But come on, let's go find that mind flayer." How about this? The woman very clearly seems important. You talk to her, I'll go find the mind flayer. Alright. But shouldn't I go with you? Is it wise to split up? Connor, I'm a hunter. I'm a very skilled hunter who nearly got killed last time. Remember that? Yes, I'm aware. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm aware of that fact. But I'm not going to fall for it twice. And plus, there's a lead right there, and they're very clearly interested in you. Or me, I don't know. Then why wouldn't it be relevant if we both go? Because someone has to go after the mind flare. Go. I'll find the mind flare, and then I'll meet up with you again. Despite my better judgment, I nodded and said, "Be careful." She nodded. I followed the strange girl up to the rooftops. I said, "Who are you, and what do you want?" She just stared at me. Let's try this again. What do you want? She just continued to stare and didn't make a movement. I said, "Listen, if you know anything about the mind flayers, it'd be very good for you to tell me. Otherwise, no one will save you from what I'm about to do." Then she ran off as fast as she could, jumping from building to building. Me, I was a little behind, but I could keep up with her just enough so she wouldn't get out of sight. She jumped from one building to the next, then slid down the roof of another, and then made her way across another street to another building, then continued to climb to get back up to the top of the roof, and I was following behind. Then I saw something that was truly impressive. She jumped from one roof and then jumped to another, and then rode across the wall of a much larger building. I nodded and said, "Not bad." but you got to do better than that. I jumped and followed the same movement she did. A little bit better, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. And I continued to run after her as fast as I could and said, "Wait! Stop! Just tell me what I want to know and this could be over." She stared at me. Again. I caught up with her and said, "Listen, I don't care who you are. Just tell me what I want to know. Okay? And then you can go ahead and stalk me all you want or whatever." She just stared at me. And then finally spoke a word and said, "Don't think that for 1 minute I want you to succeed." Is that a threat? You can say that, yes. I am your mistakes coming back to haunt you. What was she talking about? What mistake did I make to warrant such an aggressive advancement? She pulled out 2 swords and said, "Time to die." And I pulled out mine and said, "Not today." And our blades clashed. She was very clearly proficient with 1 or 2 blades, but her movement was rather difficult. It was a little clunky, unrefined, if that. I'd studied your movement for 3 days now. Yeah, I noticed. But how about this? You tell me what you are, and tell me why you're trying to kill me, and then I'll give you a quick death. Like I said, I am your consequences. I am the actions of your mistakes. And we clashed continuously. Her blade came down, and I blocked, but her second blade struck me in the arm. Not enough to do any damage. My bracers took the heavy blow for me. I then grabbed a dagger that I had strapped to my chest and slashed her. Every blow we went continued to wear us both down. We went blow for blow. She would strike me and then I would strike her. It wasn't a simple fight. I slashed at her leg and then she punched me with the hilt of her sword. And I fell to the ground. She pointed her blade at me and said, "Time to die." I wrapped both my feet around hers and said, "Like I said, not today," and then flipped her on her back. I jumped onto her and began to punch her in the face as hard as I can. And I said, "Who are you? Tell me who you are and I'll spare you, or give you a quick death, depending on which one you want." I removed the rags from her face, and I saw she was a vampire. I sat there and just said, "Well then, I have no more guilt about killing you." She then threw me off of her and also off the roof of the building I was on. I landed on my back but got back up quite quickly. I climbed back up and she was gone. There was nothing I could have done. A few scrapes and bruises were all that was there. I had lost sight of what I was doing, and I immediately rushed back to Abby's aid. I looked around for a moment, and then I realized that the sewers, that's where she's probably gone. And I climbed down into the sewers and continued to search for her. I went slowly but surely. Then I saw her. She was running from something. I chased after her, said, "Abby! Abby, hold on! I'm right behind you!" But nothing. The silence. It was so weird. Then I continued to follow. "Abby! Abby!" Then I saw something that was rather odd. A door. I looked around for a moment, and then I realized there was a wooden door. In the sewers? This doesn't make any sense. I opened the door. Before I could do anything, Abby grabbed me and said, Don't go in there. There's nothing there, Connor. Abby, you're being chased. No, I wasn't. What was that? That was a mind flare trick. Mind flare. They're here? Then the mind flayer began to jump after Abby. I pulled out my pistol and shot it before it could do anything. Yes, the mind flayers are here, and that one nearly just pulled you into a trap. I fell for the same trap myself. It doesn't make any sense. Why was it doing that? I don't know. Whatever these things are, they very clearly know what they're doing. What do you propose we do then? We hunt? We heard screams coming from a distance and saw, well, what looked like an altar with Jack and 2 other disciples of the mind flayers, I imagine. They just sat there in silence and began a small chant, one that we couldn't recognize or understand at all. We can barely hear it, too. We sat there for a minute and said to ourselves, what do we do? I don't know. Then Jack said, you can come out for first. Yes, we know you are here. Come out. We shrugged and just did as he said. Got us closer to our target. Really, it wasn't my favorite idea of just walking blindly into this thing, but we didn't really have much of a choice now, did we? Jack said, well, look what we have here. The hunters who tried to stop my plans. Tried and will succeed, idiot. You're very persistent, I'll give you that. But, alas, it is all wasted effort. What are you doing? Abby asked. What I'm doing is not of consequence to you two. You're both gonna die. That is final. Then, 2 mind flayers and 3 more disciples appeared from the shadows. I drew my blade and Abby pulled out her gun. We stood back to back, and then I began to laugh a little. Oh, you guys are idiots. And tell me, why is that? Because, instead of using the shadows to your advantage and getting the drop on us, you decided to let your egos do all the talking. And now, you're all going to die. And then, the fight began. I swung at a cultist, killing his head off, and then a mind flayer jumped on me. It tried biting me, but Abby shot it, and then was attacked by a mind flayer herself. I rolled over and pulled out my pistol, and shot the creature. She then took 2 shots against the cultists, and took 2 of them down. Now it was just the 2 cultists, and Jack. I stared at him and said, how could you do this, Jack? This city looked up to you. Are you trying to reason with me? No, I'm just trying to see what's wrong with you so I know what to do next to kill the next psychopath who thinks that they can communicate with whatever. You're beginning to have difficulty speaking, aren't you? Yeah, a little. Maybe because I'm just tired of this. And then I charged at him. Jack, completely devoid of purpose, finally charged at us. Realizing that his plan was over, he thought he was going to take one of us with him. But he pointed his hand at Abby. Then Abby was hit with a very powerful blast that illuminated from his hand. A green fire hit her hard. I said, "Abby!" And then I cut all three of them down with excessive force. I walked over and said, "Abby, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little burn." "You don't look fine. You look like you took a big blow." "Yeah, Jack thought he could take me with him, but I'm not that easy to take down." "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Connor, for asking." "Come on." "Oh. Did you ever figure out what that woman was?" "She just wanted me dead. She was a vampire. Skilled, too. Skilled. Huh, that's new. Especially coming from you. For the past few months, you have been very skilled. Probably one of the more skilled hunters I've seen in a while." "Yeah, I know, but we'll worry about that later. Come on, let's get you some medical attention. You look like you need it."